Well, dear listeners, in the studio today we have two individuals in our community who have embarked on a documentary which I find very interesting and near and dear to my heart as it evolves around the Armenian-American musician experience. And I'm speaking of the project entitled We Thrive, the movie. And this is headed up by Lisa Hagopian and Eric Hagopian, and they're going to talk to us today about what this is all about. Theme is, can music heal? And along with the interviews and things that they're going to do to dive into this question, we're going to find out a little bit more about it. So, Lisa and Eric, welcome to the Armenian Radio Program, and thank you for being a part of our experience.
Hello.
Thank you. Hi.
Tell us a little bit about this project, which really sounds interesting. And you say we explore the Armenian-American musician experience. Tell us a little bit about that.
Being that we're both Armenian and we've had a lot of thoughts and that about our, heritage and whatnot, and being musicians and writers and creative people, we thought, well, why don't we do something about the Armenian-American experience? Because I always felt like, number one, I feel like the PR on Armenians could be better. I don't think a lot of people still really know much about our culture, and I thought that would be a way to do that. I've seen a lot of good films out there about Armenian culture and that, but we wanted to do something just a little different with a kind of contemporary spin and mix that with the traditional and historical perspectives. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like our goal.
The main question that we ask in the film is, can music heal?
Right.
Yeah.
And we wanted to show that there's more to Armenian history and culture and the Armenian story than the genocide, basically. And we explore that by talking to musicians who are of Armenian ethnicity, musicians of all genres of music, and ask them, does music have a healing effect on them?
And you're not necessarily talking about Armenian music.
Oh, no, not at all.
We
have a classical musician, blues musician, jazz, rock, you name it. So it'll be very interesting, and probably not what people expect, but it'll be very interesting. And a lot of very good perspectives. We have people who are full-blooded Armenian on all their grandparents' side, and we've interviewed people who are only a quarter Armenian. So we get a very interesting perspective from that.
Across the board.
Yeah, array of people.
Well, it's like I said, I'm excited to see this because something very near and dear to my heart, and we, as Armenians, I think have never been acknowledged for a lot of the cultural things that we bring to the table, in our food, in our music, in our faith, which I think is one of our, of course, leading center of our lives, our churches, in our Christianity, and I think this is going to be something interesting. And I know you probably got some interviews lined up with some of the people that we probably play their music on the radio program here, but you have some local people that you're interviewing and talking to.
Well,
did you want to mention some?
Yes. Okay, we have Ara Tapujan, Hachi Kazarian, Rubik Malian,
sure,
Dan Yessian, Simon Javizian.
Oh, that's a blast from the past.
We will also interview today Vaughn Masropian, producer Chuck Elkasian.
Okay, Chuck.
Eliza Niels, also known as Liz Tomasian locally. Sure. Sean Blackman, did I mention him? Yeah. Kim Kashkashian, who's originally from Detroit but is in Boston. She's a classical violist. Okay. Somebody else who is a music booker, Kim Nakashian. Stevie Ansara, who's a beatboxer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, Tia and Tanya Dumachalski.
That's an Armenian name.
Yeah. Lathian.
Lathian, right.
Their mother is Barbara Lathian.
Mm-hmm.
So
they have a band called Stormstress. They're like a heavy metal group.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
great musicians.
And you know, it's a wide variety of music genres, but you'll be surprised at how people's ethnicity kind of sneaks in to the different kinds of music.
It informs their musicality and their art, you know. You start looking at all these interviews with the editing process, and you kind of see this thread, you know. Right.
Well,
it's interesting.
You know what? I mean, music can be such an ambassador. Mm-hmm. It can be an ambassador to many, many worlds and many, some music is political a lot of times, okay? And one thing that comes to mind is System of a Down, okay? What person sort of our age, okay, heard of System of a Down, okay, which is a heavy metal rock and roll, bang your head up against the wall type of music. But all of a sudden, this Armenian guy, Serge Tankian, he comes to the forefront during April 24th, goes to Armenia, gets the attention of our homeland, and then also here in the United States gets an audience with the White House. So it's like here, this heavy metal guy, okay, who has a beautiful Armenian background, and I encourage you to sort of look him up on YouTube. He does a beautiful Armenian duet with his father, which he's a musician also. But here's this guy that, you say to yourself, wow, where did he come from? And it's like all the protests and all the stuff that we do on our end to get attention from the White House or, local government. Here, a guy that's got, some fame can turn it on just like a Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Who goes to Armenia and they start dancing in Yerevan Square, and now we get coverage.
Right.
So music is, like I said, it's an ambassador that opens a lot of doors for us Armenians. So I love that you're doing this documentary and getting some of the views on all these very, very, the names you said, they were all A+ individuals to get insight from.
One of our goals is to get as many non-Armenians to see the film.
We feel there's a lot of crossover with our message.
For sure. I'm hoping that that's the audience it reaches. Because it's like the deadhead or the priest preaching to the people at church. Why aren't we have more people in church? It's not the people in church you want to be scolding. It's the non-people that aren't there you need to get the message. So I love the fact that you're trying to hit that demographic, because
that's why the question, can music heal? Well, that's a universal question. Anyone can relate to that. So we hope that other people will take an interest. It's just that we're using Armenian Americans to answer that question in the film.
And asking that question, can music heal? Everybody's got a different perspective on that, how it heals, through whatever art that they're doing,
And that's why the title is We Thrive, because despite the genocide and the trauma that our grandparents went through, without having any kind of counseling or therapy after they my grandma was driven through the desert, and
Sure.
Grandpa was in a whatever they called it, Death Brigade,
Death marches and stuff
and
like
their parents were killed. They had no counseling, they had no therapy. So after our grandparents went through that, yes, we thrive, and one way to thrive is through the arts.
Right.
I mean, I hope everyone knows that.
Yeah.
The arts, if I didn't have some kind of creative outlet, especially the past 2 years, if I didn't have some kind of creative outlet, some kind of project to work on, I would go nuts.
That's good for you, Eric, because Lisa's your wife. That's right. So that's kind of the contra-blessing for that one. So, and I'm glad to hear that Deacon Rubik Maelian is someone that you talk to, because I think that when you talk about the genocide in our past, a lot of our music, it was church music, it was liturgical music that got everyone through those hard times. We were listening to the Badarak. That was the fuel that kept whoever was still alive marching and thriving and trying to get to the next step to keep us alive here in the world, because they were talking, the Turks were trying to annihilate us, to remove us from the face of the earth. The only Armenian that was going to be left in the world was, what did he say? The one that's going to be in the museum. Okay, when Talat Pasha spoke. And but obviously he was wrong, and we are thriving as a community, and I think one of the big challenges now is, at least here in America, along with our music and our culture and all that other stuff, the assimilation, and how do we keep that ethnicity of Armenian Hayuchun still in the thread of everything and not have it get lost, because we're different generations, and some of us have been playing this music, our village music, for many, many years, and we'll see how it goes on with the younger generation, and there are some promising young musicians that are carrying on this flame, which we'll talk about in our interview, hopefully, but it's important. So how do these projects, are they funded by any foundation, or it's just Eric and Lisa, and we go out there and
essentially, we've kind of funded our own projects, but we do have a GoFundMe campaign going for this current one.
Yes, you can go to GoFundMe.com, and in the search put We Thrive Documentary if you care to donate and support our film. But yes, we don't have any sponsorships. We've had a couple of very generous donations.
Yes.
So that's great. And
do any of the Kellogg or any of these institutes, do they donate to any of these type of?
Oh, they do. Yeah, I mean, you have to apply for grants.
And
but
we've
applied
looked
for
into Kresge.
Yeah, we applied for
Kresge,
one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
us
among thousands of other people apply. So
sure. Okay, well, so GoFundMe.com, and then you just type in We Thrive Documentary in the search.
Correct.
And if there's something that you can help Eric and Lisa on, then please do what you can.
We also, we're very thankful to the people who are in the film, and others as well, who have donated images and home movies and all that, because obviously it's a film, so you need visual. And so that helps quite a bit.
Especially if you're ever doing anything with any historical perspective. I mean, it's essential to have, footage and photos. And
are you making any kind of an appeal if someone has something?
I think we put something out on Facebook.
Yeah.
On the Detroit Armenians page.
Yeah.
Anything, bands, playing.
Mm-hmm.
Armenian musicians, Armenian bands.
All right. Well, if you have something, you can always go to. Well, there's an email that you could send to harab1 at comcast.net. Harab1 at comcast.net. If you want to send any pictures or things that you think they might be able to use in this documentary, I'm sure they would be happy to maybe review it and consider it. So if you have something there, or if you see me and you want me to get it to them, I can connect with Lisa and Eric with no problem also, if you have something that you'd like to share and have them be a part of.
My cousin had their parents, someone took a movie of their parents' wedding in 1950.
Oh, wow.
And so we don't have musicians playing, but we have everyone dancing, which is fantastic. And hopefully when the Detroit area people see it, they'll say, oh, my gosh, there's Auntie, there's Grandma, there's Grandpa.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, our wedding, which was in 1974, of course, back then, all we had was Super 8.
Right.
And 8 millimeter.
I know it well. I used to have a couple of cameras.
And so that's all my footage. And our wedding looked like AYF Olympics, okay? Because we had tons of people back at the day, and it's exciting. And you go back over those, and you just see that there's only a third of those people. A lot of them are still there. So those nostalgic movies are a lot of fun. You mentioned that you're musicians. What do you dabble in, Eric?
Well, I'm a guitar player and vocalist and budding oud player.
Oh, okay.
I've had a band called Chain Reaction for a number of years, and probably about 30 plus years, and I've got a few recordings out and stuff. And a lot of rock, blues, music, that kind of thing.
That's great.
But I've always been interested in Armenian music, and that was part of the reason to make this film, too.
That's great. Well, we certainly are going to look forward to the documentary called We Thrive. And, of course, we are going to... do you have a target date for this?
End of 2022, maybe beginning of 2023.
Okay, so we have a little ways to.
We want to wrap up the filming within the next month or so.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility.
Like, legal, issues that we have to deal with to get everything ready for distribution.
Right,
and just finish the editing and a few B-roll type things.
So we're gonna the first we're going to enter it into film festivals. Probably have a local premiere, and then try to get it on local PBS.
Sure.
Yeah, they've been very supportive of us in the past with our last film. Can I mention his name?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Fred Nahat is a great guy over at PBS.
And then,
we love Fred.
And then, I don't know, we don't have too much experience with this, but try to get it on the various streaming platforms. Amazon Prime is a little difficult now, but there are other ways, to get it on.
We have
streaming.
our current films on Amazon.
Paradise Boogie's on Amazon.
But we'd like to try to expand the whole streaming platform thing. Maybe even look into Netflix and Hulu and all that possibly.
Well,
one step at a time.
Yeah, my nephew's the one of the attorneys for Netflix. So we'll see if we can do a little something there. Yeah. PBS loves the Armenians because I think we are one of the Armenian community is very, very generous and supportive when we have the April 24th films that run about the documentaries on the Armenians, and those phones ring pretty good over there.
Great.
So PBS loves our Armenian community, and it's great. And we love PBS because they do an amazing job in what they give to our community. They're phenomenal. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for giving us this little peek into your world. And like I said, we look forward to seeing the documentary We Thrive. And we'll see all the local interviews and people that we know, people that we don't know. That's right. Even more fun. And we'll get this out there. And I congratulate you, both of you, on your vision, because I know this is a labor of love. This is important information that we must document.
Our first film, Nothing But Music, we had a featured musician and the drummer in his band. We didn't interview the man. He was only on screen for a minute here, a few seconds there throughout the film. Unfortunately, he got cancer and passed away. And then we had screened the film, and his significant other came to one of the screenings and came up to us after the film, and she was just so overjoyed to see him in the film.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like if nobody else saw this movie, it was worth it to make it.
Right.
Just for her.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful.
You never know who you're going to reach.
Yeah.
So, and we had a similar experience, I think, with the other film. So, you never know what kind of effect
Sure.
Your creative project is going to have on other people.
Right.
You never know. So I just just do it.
And I think that's, from an artist's perspective, that's always our reward.
Yes.
Yes. It's the, at least when we play music and what have you, it's watching those people from the stage. When you're sitting there and you're performing, and Eric, I'm sure you can speak to this also or understand what I'm saying. When you see people enjoying their life, dancing, singing along with you, playing air, doumbeg or oud or guitar or whatever, and you make that memory with them, and at the end of the night, it's about what you interacted and what you left each other. Of course, it's good to get paid at the end of the night with a gig, but in all honesty, like now in this stage of my life, I mean, when I play because I have a passion for it, not because we're getting paid for it that much. But and so, like you said, when you reach someone like that that's no longer with you, and you touched her heart by, sort of putting him there forever.
Right.
Because when you document it, it's there. It's great that you provide that kind of content for our children and for generations to come, because those documentaries are going to outlive all of us. Well, Eric and Lisa, thank you so much again, and it was fun having this conversation with you. We look forward to your project, and if there's anything more that this program can do to help facilitate getting the word out or whatever, we're always here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.